16246 East Lee Road. I've lived in this town my whole life. That was brought to my attention today. And after reading this over, I can't believe that the town board would entertain something written like this. This is so vague. It gives no baseline for enforcement. There's no decibel readings, no nothing. You guys passed a battery storage law not that long ago, and we're cognizant enough to put decibel and noise measurements in that law, but a noise ordinance doesn't get that? So reading through this thing, I'm looking at this, and it doesn't even specify quiet times, allowable noise levels will be allowed from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. What's allowable? This the way this is written, honestly, it's a piece of garbage. I don't know who wrote it. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but you're dealing with an entire town population here, and you're not giving anybody baseline for what they're allowed to do or not allowed to do. Am I allowed to mow my lawn at 10:30 at night? That's maintenance. I don't do that because I don't think that's plagued to my members, but this noise ordinance allows it. That makes no sense. This town is one of, what, 7 or 8 towns in Orleans County? And I don't believe any of them have noise ordinances. The stuff about the vehicles in here is covered under New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law. New York State Vehicle and Traffic Law also defines decibel measurements. They define whether it's factory or modified exhaust and stuff like that. Are we gonna stop every motorcycle coming down 31A that sounds a little loud and write them under the town ordinance? I guarantee we'll be the lead story on the Democrat and Chronicle. And this is an overreach. And I implore the town board members not to entertain this. We don't live in Greece, Brighton, Penfield. We live out here for a reason. And this is stomping all over those reasons. Thank you.
30 years. I've been racing for 30 years when I've been here. So it's a hobby. So if I fire up my car that's really loud, loaded in the trailer, there's gonna be a problem. If I have a problem with the car and I gotta work on it, I'm not allowed to work on it in a place that I've lived in for 30 years. I really don't see how that's right. I still will be. Give you the $1,000 now, fine me, and then I'll run it at 1 in the morning. But ultimately, again, I moved out here, been here 30 years, don't give any problems, don't run them on the road. Not a nuisance, but we will be. It's not, this, again, we came out here for a reason, not to be bothered. And because people don't like a little bit of noise, they should listen to it when it's quiet. The animals are louder than anything that we're gonna do. We're gonna go after the animals now. Frogs are, when I had my pool, frogs were going crazy. So what, shoot frogs at midnight? Come on. Thanks, I'm against it.
16367 Booth Road. So I already talked to one of the sheriff deputies, and it's already what it is. We already have quiet hours, so they're gonna go out there because it's a local law. So it's enforced by a town employee who's probably not gonna be here at midnight when somebody's having a problem. And I already talked to the sheriff. He said he's gonna go out there, tell them to quiet down like they've been doing for the past however many years. And it's not even gonna turn into a thing unless they come back there and it is a thing. It's not gonna change. It already, this law is what it is right now. So, and if I leave and go to work at 6:45 in the morning and I decide it's a nice day and I wanna take my rat route out, I'm in violation and I'm gonna get fined. What's the point of that? And this is all targeted at one person. We all know who started this. And it is what it is, and things have gotten better. But now we're all gonna get punished because of maybe a handful of people. And we just wanna live our life and do what we like to do. It's a small town. It's like Brian said, it's not Brighton, it's not Penfield. It's Clarendon, it's Orleans County. People come here to get away from all of that. I get it's quiet country living, and it is most of the time. But you know, how about we can talk to our neighbors and say, hey, maybe keep it down, I work third shift, I gotta be up early. No, we're gonna call the cops. That's really gonna make a big difference. It's probably gonna piss them off more, and then they're gonna do it more. It's a $100 fine, was it? Okay, I'll pay in advance. Thanks.
My name is Kathy Harnstetter, I live on Brown Schoolhouse Road. I understand the concerns of coming out to the country. I came out to the country to get away from the city and the loud noises and the craziness of the high volume vehicles and loud music. So we have our reasons for being here. I love the rural country. What brought this all about are those that continue to go back and forth. If you want to fire up your cars, go for it. But don't go back and forth in a neighborhood. Don't let off explosions at 3 o'clock in the morning. When you're sleeping in peace. When we're trying to sleep, we get woken up suddenly because of the loud mufflers, because of the revving of engines, because of the explosions. We have to come to a middle here and compromise on this. Because our rights are being treaded on, as much as you think your rights are being treaded on.
I'm sorry, what was the
Does that make
address?
sense?
What was the address again?
16124 Brown Schoolhouse
That's a
Road.
rural
Okay.
address.
Do you know it's illegal to mow your grass into the road?
Pardon me?
You know it's illegal to mow your grass into the road, right?
Oh, my grass cutter.
Yeah, grass clippings on the
You
road.
know what, usually I blow them,
Mhm.
but I had a bad accident where I have a lot of burns.
I'm just saying
So
that,
this
that's
time I
also
could
a
not
law.
blow them, but you're right, usually I'm
All
very
right, you can't,
considerate about it.
don't talk to each other, you're talking to.
Okay, so anyway, this was brought about because of all of what I just said. This is nonstop. I just audio taped my neighbor again before leaving my house tonight. And he's revving beyond, it's just crazy. It's unacceptable. It's disrespectful. We respect you when you're sleeping. We respect you when you want your peace. All we're asking in return is the same. Respect our rights to that. Respect our rights to be able to sleep and be safe in our own homes. Because right now, it's not. And it's not even for you as much as you think it is. This has gotten crazy out of control.
Kathy,
I
just.
apologize. I have been trying, I spoke with our sheriff. The community came out and met with our sheriff. What is the solution to this? We don't want anyone going to jail. We don't want anybody getting in trouble. We just want to live in peace and harmony. We have the right to peacefully enjoy our property. And we have not been able to do that at any hour of the day. How would you feel if the tables were turned? And we kept doing this to you at 3 o'clock in the morning. Or I kept doing it to anyone else in our community. This is about respect. Mutual respect. You're getting the respect, we're asking for it in return. I do not think that's much. And yes, we talked about decibel levels. I brought in information about little devices that you can use to measure decibel levels. I even downloaded one on my phone and have been measuring the decibel level. You can laugh all you want, this is a reality check for everyone.
The reality is she just complained about your noise on your car at 6 p.m.
Kick back, you can do whatever you need to do, but I truly believe that we need something to control the out of control noises, that unacceptable and unnecessary noises. It's not a lawnmower. We're all respectful. I don't fire up my lawnmower until 9 o'clock in the morning during the week, let alone on a weekend any earlier. I always try to be respectful of neighbors. What a concept.
Ma'am,
Pardon?
did you do your homework before you came out
Hold on a
here?
second, hold on a second. Don't go back and forth, you're adjusting the board. Thank you, Kathy. Is there anybody else? Yes, sir.
Yes, Tom White, 5060 Upper Holly Road. This has been going on since I moved here, and I've been here 15 years, and it just got progressively worse over the last couple of years. People are using the circle down there, that area, as a racetrack. They're running their four-wheelers up and down the street at high speeds, making a lot of noise. All you gotta do is take a look at the road down there and see the skid marks. That serpentine across the road, that's all deliberate. That's disrespectful to the taxpayers of the town, and it's disrespectful to the people's level of comfort. Now, if people drive up and down the road on their utility vehicle at a reasonable pace, not making a lot of noise, not doing wheelies in the street, not revving up its speed and running through their gears and going as fast as they can down the street, I don't think anybody cares. They're just being disrespectful, they're being obstinate, and the more you complain, the louder they get. And this is the problem. If they were respecting people's rights to a quiet, peaceful lifestyle in this town, and showing the courtesy that we should expect from our fellow members of this town, there wouldn't be a problem. Now, whether the law is gonna address this or not, I don't know. I've seen the police on the side of the road talking to certain individuals. They look pretty chummy. And, I don't think the cops may or may not even enforce this, but this is a matter of principle for people who live in this town. It's illegal to do what they're doing, okay? But nobody's gonna gripe about a four-wheeler going down the road in a rural area. They're doing it respectfully. If you wanna go from point A to point B with respect, nobody cares. If you wanna take your four-wheeler, go someplace and ride it, you've got a place where you're permitted to ride it, great. Go down the street at a decent speed, go by my house, go to where you're gonna go, ride all you want. I don't care, and I don't think anybody really cares. It's about respect and showing a little class for the people that live here and pay the taxes and wanna live in a quiet community. And it doesn't have to be silent, of course, I have a four-wheeler, I use it to work when I'm working on my property. But I don't race it up and down the street. And I take into consideration other people's sensibilities. And they're just not doing it, and it's deliberate and it's obnoxious. So basically, they can stand here and make all kinds of stories about, oh, well, you can't cut your grass into the road. They're just trying to justify their inappropriate behavior. And that's just making the community upset. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be, everybody tries to get along and show respect to each other. It's never gonna be perfect, we all know that, but this is ridiculous, it goes on and on and on. Thank you.
I think we pay taxes too.
Hi, Renee Brondo, 16-10 Brown Schoolhouse Road. I would like for the board to reject this proposal as currently written. There's no qualitative information in here. It is completely subjective. It is talking about unreasonably loud, no sound levels, as many people have shared. If something came forward that had specifics around what exactly the intent of this is, but as written, it should not be accepted.
I'd like to say, kind of relate, but not.
You need your name and your address, please.
Ethan Dart, 4360 Halberton Road.
Thank you.
I've had neighbors next to me for 20 years I've been alive. We had a little quarrel. They used to be loud, they annoy me. I'd be loud, I'd annoy them. We never called the cops on one another. We talked to one another, hey, the music and the fireworks and the fire last night, the smoke was blowing at the house, whatever. And okay, we'll keep in mind the wind direction. If it's after 10 or so or 11 or whatever, we'll try to keep the music down. And it was the 4th of July, so we don't, it's fireworks. I don't have a problem with it, 'cause I'll sit there and watch on my porch too. And it was the same thing with me. I've built a couple vehicles and I've had some loud exhaust and tuning it in the driveway and whatnot, breaking in cams. And they came over and, it sounds good, even after all our quarrels we've had with one another, and just being neighborly and saying, hey, I was a little bothered by this, but, you were bothered by this as well. We've met on center ground, and after 15 years of bad blood to one another, recently we've finally become, I'd say, allies. We've become friends again. And the neighborhood is peaceful and respectful, and we have our times, they have a party on a Friday night, maybe Saturday night I have a couple friends over, playing music loud in the garage, and there's no issue. And like I said, it's been that way for 20-something years. They got four-wheelers, they rip around their lawn, no exhaust on it. I've had stuff in my lawn. They take stuff down the road to their property and whatnot. And, there's no problem. And I got 10 people each side of me that just talked to them all tonight. And they said, yeah, it's Clarendon. Stuff's loud. People like to have, a straight pipe exhaust on their summer vehicle. Or they like to have a old truck that's got, a cam in the motor and it's thumpy, and they got open headers on it because they run it to car shows, and they like to run it down to vans to get coffee or whatever. And there's never been an issue. We've always just talked to one another, and we always associate, say, oh, that's cool, you got that, and it's just always been kosher. Even when we've been mad at one another, we've always just talked it out, and that's the way the town's been for forever, but that's all I got to say.
Diane Flo, 5248 Holly Road. I want to say I'm a neutral party on this. I do see this needs help. you got, at the time, 7 to 10, what about hunters in the fall time? What about coyote hunters at nighttime? So I do see this needs some help. I understand the decibel thing. I don't think this should be disregarded. I think it should be amended. When I get jolted out of bed on a Tuesday night at 2:10 in the morning, and because I don't know, it was a car, because the only reason I know it was a car was because after I was awake, it screeched down the road. I've got pictures on my phone of the black screech marks. Heaven forbid, I walk to the mailbox and don't see this car coming and get run over. Something has to be done about the cars that are screeching up and down the road. I agree with that. When my husband has to close his window and turn a fan on because he can't go to sleep, he has to get up at 4:30 in the morning for work, and the party's still going on at 2:30 across the road, something does have to be done. But this does need help.
Where does she live?
Nyla Gaylord, 16201 Blue Road, Howard, Oakland. Yeah, I grew up out here, and I'm astounded by the fact that I go visit somebody on the corner of Upper Holly Road, Brown Schoolhouse Road, we can't even carry on a conversation. I go down to talk to somebody I know on 237. Can't even carry on a conversation. Middle of the night, it appears their bomb went off across the road. My house shook. I got people in the middle of the night going up and down the road, making noise, blowing their horns, just being obnoxious, okay? You all, if you're involved in any of this, alright, yes, okay? Alright, you all, if you're involved in this. The basic concept is, your liberty ends where mine begins.
I just wanted to add to what I said earlier, I forgot one thing. So, and I see Mr. Sansone up there. So I read this and I started doing some research. It's actually case law in New York that makes this on this piece of paper the way that it's written illegal. It's been disregarded by the appellate division in New York State under People versus New York Trap Rock Corp. The basis is pretty much vagueness. There's no baseline, there's nothing in here to tell a police officer where to begin. The way this is written right now, somebody could be ticketed because another person was just annoyed. Like, that's not right. There's nothing articulate in this.
Hi, I'm Eric, 76584 Section Road. I just have a question for the board, nothing to do with anybody in here. What follow-through do you have to enforce this from a calibration standpoint for equipment, a certified operator? Who in the town on the payroll is gonna do that during working hours?
And off.
And off hours, because the sheriffs have already said they're doing nothing about it, as they have been doing nothing about it. Well, that's gonna increase our tax dollars, just so everybody knows, you're gonna have to hire someone full-time to do this. You have to go to
Well, you're gonna have to have two shifts.
calibrated, you're gonna have to go to training, you have to go to training every 6 months for this. It's not take a class online for 10 minutes and do this.
Nobody's gonna follow it.
And you
To be
also have
honest
to
with you.
enforce it, you have to be there to watch it, you have to record it on site, a phone app doesn't count, an Amazon decibel meter doesn't count.
And there's already laws that cover
In
it.
a court of law, none of that matters, it has to be calibrated and certified. Just for the record.
Gregory, sorry, 1439. Can anybody on this board give me a rules and regulations about the gun for noise? It's constant, there's 300 vendors now, we can't even sit on our own deck and listen to gun noise.
Be ready for Saturday.
4167 Valley Road. We live across from the gun club.
No.
And the gun club, their hours stated on their website, they're closed every day, but Thursday when they shoot from 3:30 to 9 p.m. and Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We've lived in our house 49 years. When we first moved in, and we knew the gun club was there, they would shoot on Thursday nights, and occasionally on the weekend, they would have a shoot. They would come around and put a flyer in your mailbox to let you know they were doing it. The gun clubs obviously changed their bylaws, but they never include anyone in the neighborhood as to what they're doing. They would shoot all the time on the weekends. They would shoot, 12 o'clock till 8 o'clock at night. You can't entertain, you can't sit out, you can't enjoy your property. I went up one time when they were shooting, and I asked to speak to the person in charge. He came out, and this young kid came out with him, with his rifle, trying to intimidate me. I don't intimidate easily. And I told him, put your gun away, I'm not afraid of you. But this is ridiculous, and the comments we get are, well, you bought your house, you knew this was here. Our house is almost 200 years old. Our house has been here a lot longer than that gun club. But they shoot all the time. I've been keeping track, just probably the last 2 weeks, as to the times that people are up there shooting when the gun club is closed. I've gone up and taken pictures of their vehicles. I have their license plate numbers, but they're up there at dinner time. Well, you want to sit out in the summer, enjoy yourself, have dinner.
Stalking?
You gotta listen to
Kinda
this,
like
and they're doing that moment, like
harassment.
It's ridiculous. Cowboy gun show, and it's, it's not the vehicle.
One person talking at a time.
It's not the
We're trying to
vehicle.
record this, you have background talking, it doesn't record properly.
It's not the vehicles for me, it's the gun club, and it's the people that are shooting out of hours. And I don't know, I think people just come in